University of Malaya, the SICOT, Chulalongkorn University, and Namkai University, we express gratitude for the established partnership and kind attention. And I hope this collaboration will continue with other activities. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Professor Dr. Rahmat Masun MMDC, who just delivered his welcoming speech. Ladies and gentlemen, we hereby invite the Rector of Syarif Hidayatullah State Islamic University, Jakarta, represented by the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, Professor Dr. Ahmad Talabi Kharli, SHMMA, to deliver his opening speech and launching the first international seminar series on discussing halal lifestyle in ASEAN, multiple perspectives and approaches. Professor Dr. Ahmad Talabi Kharli, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Selamat pagi, good morning everybody. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Distinguished, respected partners, Sheikhul Islam of Thailand, President of Central Islamic Council of Thailand, Tan Arum Bunkhom, Ramkhamhaeng University, Vice President for Academic and International Relations, Associate Professor Krisda Tan Haisak, PhD, the Dean of the Faculty of Sharia and Law, UIN Jakarta, Professor Muhammad Masum, the Dean of Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Law, IIUM, Professor Dr. Farid Sufyan bin Shuaib, the Dean of the Academy of Islamic Studies, University Malaya, Professor Dr. Muhammad Fauzi bin Hamad, Director of Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University, Associate Professor Dr. Winay Dahlan, IIUM Company Secretary and Deputy Dean for Academic and Internationalization Affairs, Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Law, Associate Professor Dr. Wan Muhammad Zulhafid bin Wan Zahari, all speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Zalina binti Zakaria, Associate Professor Dr. Mumin Rauf, Associate Professor Dr. Majdah Zawawi, Kasini Farida Katelakha, PhD, moderator, and participants who have graciously joined this event. On behalf of the Rector, I appreciate Faculty of Sharia and Law's efforts in developing partnership with international network. This collaboration discloses hope for the development of Islamic academia in Indonesia, aimed at strengthening progressive Islamic tools for societal progress. UIN Jakarta is a window into Indonesia's academic excellence, which is known for its progressive and advanced thinking. UIN Jakarta always develops scientific and Islamic research that are based on humanity, especially in context of diversity in Indonesia. So on this occasion, I also invite all of you to visit, to study, and to collaborate with UIN Jakarta. I positively respond this international seminar series, which is a realization of the newly formed partnerships. Of course, I hope there will be concrete outcomes from the seminar series. For example, the result of various lectures from the seminar series can be compiled into a book or a compilation of discussion on current and relevant topics in the fields of Sharia, law, and humanity. On the other hand, I hope the implementation or manifestation of this established partnership can be expanded. So the concrete benefits and results from collaboration have a positive impact on UIN Jakarta and partners. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, by reciting Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and full hope in God, I officially launched this international seminar series. May the upcoming series continue to be conducted on the topics that are current and relevant, featuring competent speakers. Once again, I express my gratitude to the officials, also the speakers, moderator, and our participants. Enjoy the seminar, and I hope it proves beneficial. Thank you very much. Hasbunallahu ni'mal wakil. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Ahmad Talabi Kharli, SIMHMA, who just officially opens and launched the first international seminar series. May Allah bless our international seminar. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and now we are going to move to the discussion session about the halal lifestyle in ASEAN. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Dr. Mashrova, and so I'm so excited to be here as your host for this event. First, I would like to start off by expressing my heartfelt thanks to all of you for taking the time to join us today. And your participation is greatly appreciated. And we are so glad that you can be here with us today. And so we understand that your time is valuable, and we're grateful that you have chosen to spend it with us. We promise to make it worth your while by providing valuable insight and sharing informative knowledge throughout the course of this webinar. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. We hope that you find this webinar both engaging and informative. And so before we get started, I would like to go over some important rules for today's webinar. And the first, please ensure that you have a stable internet connection and are in a quiet environment to minimize background noise. And second, please use the chat feature to ask any question you may have during the webinar. Our panelists will answer as many as possible. And third, please keep all the questions and comments respectful and relevant to the topic at hand. Any inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated. And fourth, please note that today's webinar is being recorded for future reference. Ladies and gentlemen, there are just a few guidelines to ensure that everyone has a positive and productive webinar experience. Now let's get started with our presentation. Today's webinar topic revolves around discussing halal lifestyle in ASEAN, multiple perspectives and approaches. Throughout this webinar, we'll be exploring that the concept of halal lifestyle, which is considered to be aligned with Islamic principles, is highly popular not only among Muslims, but also in non-Muslim countries in ASEAN. Proponents of the concept argue that it encompasses a range of practices that adhere to the ethical and religious guidelines. Studies on halal lifestyles tend to focus on the development of the halal industry as an economic consequences of the growing adoption of halal practice. And also we will discuss in various perspectives and approaches of the magnitude of halal business opportunity is contested by many countries. And also we believe that by the end of the session, we will have better understanding of halal lifestyle and have a very good insight from 3 ASEAN countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. And more importantly, and inshallah, you will gain actionable insight and takeaways that you can apply to your own work and on your own projects. We absolutely cannot wait to dive deeper and explore this topic together. So without further ado, let's get started. And joining me today are some incredible speakers who are experts in their respective fields. First, we have Associate Professor Dr. Zalina binti Zakaria. She's a lecturer at Department of Sharia and Law, Academy of Islamic Studies, Halal Research Center, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, University Malaya. We'll talk about the importance, effective policies, and governance mechanism in maintaining a credible halal certification system. Okay, let me read the profile of Dr. Zalina binti Zakaria. Okay. Associate Professor Dr. Zalina binti Zakaria, areas of expertise, cosmetic safety regulation, halal laws and regulation, consumer law, and he has also academic qualification, PhD from University of Manchester, United Kingdom, MGL, Bidang Undang-Undang International Islamic University Malaysia, IAUM, LLB, Bidang Undang-Undang International Islamic University Malaysia, IAUM, and administrative duties since 2020 as a director of Halal Research Center, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, and also from starting 2014 to present, penyelaras kursus baru jalinan masyarakat peringkat jabatan, Department of Sharia and Law, Academy of Islamic Studies, and as APIUM auditor since 2012 until present in Department of Sharia and Law, Academy of Islamic Studies. So penemuda untuk kemasukan akademik lepasan STM, asasi, matrikulasi, atau setaraf ke program ijazah dasar University Malaya 2014 until 2015. From 2014 to present, University Malaya, and as ahli jawatan kuasa perjanjian kerjasama Persatuan Paguam Syar'i dengan University Malaya since 2014 to present, and document manager since 2014 to present in Department of Sharia and Law, Academy of Islamic Studies. Professor Dr. Zalina has also a membership of Majlis Profesional Halal Malaysia, tenaga pengajar halal bertauliah member since 2022 to present, and Korean Association of Islamic Studies member since 2018. And she also has an award and stewardship featured in the book of the contribution of women in the global Islamic Economy Academy 2030 International, and also Excellent Center of Research, Humanities and Social Sciences 2020 for UMHRRC ACUM in 2022. And Dr. Zalina has also so many articles in journal, some of them talking about discrimination and authentication of lard blending bilk palm on oil in cosmetic soap formulation, International Journal of Cosmetic Science, and also so many article journal in WS and Scopus, and also so many. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Zalina binti Zakaria. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope I can be heard clearly. Thank you, Dr. Mashrafah, for your kind introduction, and to all of today's participants. Vice Rector, Professor Talabi, Professor Maksum, the Dean, all of other deans of every schools, and directors, all other esteemed speakers, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zalina. I'm very happy to be invited today, and thank you again, and also congratulations to Wing Syarif Hidayatullah for organizing. This is a very commendable effort for taking 3 universities and representing 3 countries. I would say that the 3 countries are the testament of how halal has been successfully recognized, or how halal has been successfully managed in countries like ours. So today's topic, I think, is quite diverse and very, very interesting topics that I can see from different perspectives of all the speakers. What I choose today is more of talking about aspects of governance and the policy and making the implementation of Malaysia into perspective, so that maybe you can all see from the Malaysia's experience of how do we actually manage halal certification in this country. I will share my slide now, but I want to make sure that everyone can hear me clearly. Okay, give me a minute, yeah. Right. So topic of effective policies, the importance of effective policies and governance mechanism in maintaining a credible halal certification system. So I would say three of the countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, have shown quite a number of efforts in making sure that we are renowned countries in maintaining or in a credible halal certification system all over the countries of the world. So it is very important to have a good governance in a way that this good governance will make sure integrity, authenticity, compliance of halal products in the market they're making. Consumers have some kind of trust towards buying halal products. And halal is not only important for Muslim. I think it's now becoming very, it's globalized already. It has been an economic, incentive for other countries, for non-Muslim majority countries to enter into halal. So we could see that it attracts so many businesses. And in Malaysia, for example, more than 70% of halal certification holders are from non-Muslim. So we could see that it attracts, of course, maybe not because of the religious purposes, but at the same time, even it's for business and economic purposes, it's still something that we should be very proud of. So a halal credible halal certification system, actually, it's good for all the ecosystem players, for the government, for producers and consumers. So at the same time, the global halal perspective is also upgraded through this kind of a credible halal certification system. So in Malaysia, from the perspective of the governance, from day one, halal has been mandated to the government's interaction by the government is the key to make sure that halal is in the place that we are having now. I think it's similar with the government of Indonesia and as well as Thailand, and even Thailand is the Muslim minority country. It has been taken up by the government to see and to actually show the world that actually the kitchen of the world of Thailand has actually obtained several recognitions, and having halal is another additional aspects towards halal certification in Thailand. So from day one, halal has been mandated to government, and although it has been said that since 1974, Malaysia produces halal certification, but actually from a lot of the research, it traced back the history from 1950s, whereby at the same time, Muslim has got really, apprehensive about, about the halal meats produced or the slaughter is in accordance with Islamic rights or not. So thereby making the government, very concerned about that, and started with a letter, and then only in 1974 actually is the official halal certification started, right? So it started off with a Malaysian intention and Malaysia's interaction and Malaysia's I would say Malaysia's commitment towards making this as one of the agenda in making sure that Muslims are safeguarded from the interest. It's also a holistic approach and a commitment actually it's also taking care of not only the Muslim population and majority Muslim, but also towards the halal businesses as well. So from the point of view of Halal Policy Department, we know that these three countries like ours, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, has gained regulatory control, whereby making regulatory framework as a well-defined regulatory framework may be different with some part of Thailand, but for Malaysia and Indonesia, we can see some bases and similarities. I know that Indonesia has taken a very significant approach, whereby introducing halal mandatory law, which is very commendable effort to make sure that it's a mandatory law and should be abided by all industry. Malaysia, however, has some kind of differences in the way that halal in Malaysia is still voluntary. It has not been any intention yet. That's what I have said. That's what I have heard. That to make like Indonesia, then we will have to get a load of the resources, infrastructure, and also the agreement from all the states in Malaysia. We have 14 states altogether, and then making halal mandatory not only from that policy or from that governance, but also looking at the industry perspective. So at the moment, we have different type of managing, but not from the aspect of making it mandatory, but at the same time, we encourage business. It's totally a business choice to apply for halal certification. That's the legal framework that we are having now. However, having said that, although it's voluntary, we have a specific policy, we have a specific framework backed up by enforcement of halal, although it is not like we have the Halal Act like Indonesia is having, but by virtue of Trade Description Act and also some kind of other initiative and also policy development has been developed to actually support this system. These are the halal initiative that has been, it has, from the past until the current one and maybe the future one. It's ongoing at the moment. Malaysia has Malaysia Halal Council, Halal Industry Development Council, which oversees all the halal framework in Malaysia. Halal Industry Master Plan led by Halal Industry Corporation and RMK 12. Now we are at the end of RMK 12, provide the budget and monetary expenses. Malaysia International Halal Showcase, for example, is an annual occasion whereby we could see a lot of the traders coming to Malaysia to showcase and having good business collaboration. Halal Silk Road is a specific collaboration between Malaysia and also China in terms of collaboration of halal. And then there are also mutual recognition agreements, memorandum of cooperation, and recently, I think this year, 2023, I think it's last November, the memorandum of cooperation has been signed between Malaysia and BPJPH, as well as the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. It's in terms of reciprocal agreement between accepting both certification. We also conduct Global Halal Summit, and then every year, I think since 2006, Malaysia has conducted Certification Bodies Convention, and now marks the 13th year of that CB conference and conducted. MABIMS also involve Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Brunei, and we are part of the technical committee. And then Halal Technology Transformation Program, I think this one is by the, if I'm not mistaken, by the Ministry of, we call it Keusahawanan. Malaysia International Halal Academy is another incentive by JAKIM, so sort of giving coaching to the entrepreneurs to get halal certification. Halal Professional Board is another incentive, or it's called efforts to actually train the halal professionals in this country, divided into two categories, that is on halal executive and also halal internal auditor. There is also program centered on halal studies. So I will give some of the numbers given the latest one on the program of halal studies. And there is also Malaysian Skill Certificate that is from various sectors that actually highlighted on the skill development of halal. So these are all among the halal initiative. The lists are not exhaustive. There are a lot of other lists as well. So now I would like to mention about the regulations. As I said just now, no halal law, no halal act whatsoever yet at this country, not like Indonesia, but we are having Trade Description Act 2011 and its orders. It replaces the previous Trade Description Act of 1972. And I'm not going to tell everything about the Trade Description Act, but I would like to highlight some of the key components through this Trade Description Act. Okay, so this Trade Description Act actually give rise to legal definition through its orders, namely the Trade Definition of Halal Order 2011. Legal definition is very, very pertinent to make sure that, you know, there is some basis of how industry should follow, although it has been supported by other documents as well, but this one is the basis of every law. So legal definition means halal has its own definition to be followed. The second important component is there is also the legal authority given mandate to issue halal certificate in Malaysia. This is based on Trade Description, Marking and Certification of Halal Order 2011 as well. So this provision actually gives rise to making or mandating JAKIM. I think everyone knows JAKIM, right? So JAKIM, together with JAKIM is at federal level, while JAIM is state level. But there is also MAIN or Majlis Agama Islam Negeri, because we cannot deny the fact that in Malaysia we are, according to our constitution, Majlis Agama Islam Negeri is also they are also an authority with regards to Islamic matters, and halal is part of the Islamic matters in Malaysia. So they are all authority in Malaysia. They are all authorities in Malaysia with regards to halal. But of course, halal certification system has only one system. So it's all regulated and well systemized by one system. The impact of the law and orders first one, according to the first order, halal cannot be self-declared. So no one can say, I produce halal product, I produce halal cosmetic, I have, my premise is halal. So no one can ever say that, except that they must get halal certification from the right authority, namely JAKIM that I have mentioned just now. So it is an offense to do that. It is an offense to actually, put a sticker or to actually put at the label that your product is halal. Yes, I know that many Muslim entrepreneurs, they say that why are not, there is no chance that we will produce non-halal products, right? But it's the law, actually. We just cannot claim anything that can be associated to halal, be it halal or guarantee halal or Muslim food, or it's for Muslim or Muslim entrepreneurs, whatever that can associate people that is a halal product. So if any entrepreneur want to do that, then they need to get halal certification, and they have to obtain it by the official way of getting halal certification system. So it is an offense again, and it can be penalized with very stringent penalty. The second order gives rise to implication whereby when actually an authority been given a mandate or been given a jurisdiction to actually issue halal certificate, as I mentioned, JAKIM together with MAIN, then no other agency can issue halal certification. That means it's an offense to private institution, for example, private agency. None of this can happen, not except for the issuance of justification by JAKIM as of now that is happening. So the previous law actually has some loopholes whereby none of this provision has actually existed. Number two, especially, that makes it quite a number, you know, of the institutions or the private entity actually make them halal certification agency. So this has got some kind of implications with regards to integrity and many other implications as well. So that's why the government has taken this efforts to ensure that it is only through the authority that can issue halal certification. So the penalties for the violation number one, that is on the halal self-declaration, is if a corporation, a fine not exceeding 5 million. The second offense will follow with very, very even stringent, that is 10 million. And if the person is not a corporation, I mean, is a person, then to a fine not exceeding 1 million ringgit, and even for the subsequent offense can be even higher, and even imprisonment can be imposed for the offender. So this is one of the biggest penalties that we have, and in the previous act or in the previous regulations that we have, we don't have this kind of stringent penalties. The violation of the second one, if any agency actually issue halal certificate, you know, apart from JAKIM, then they shall be also there shall be a fine to not exceeding 200,000 ringgit, and the next following offense there will be more. So it shows, the penalties shows actually that Malaysia's taken this very seriously, and the matters should not be taken lightly. Yeah, so it should come to a deterrent effect to those offenders. So at federal level, like I said just now, JAKIM is the sole issuer, or at national level, it has taken the mandate to become the main halal agency, whereby JAKIM has been established under the Prime Minister's Department. So the implementation of halal certification mainly is by JAKIM, but of course at state level it will be held by JAIN. JAIN is like JAKIM at the state level. MAIN, however, although it has been mentioned in the order, however, for the implementation, for the reality of implementation, it's actually JAKIM at the state level that help JAKIM to actually monitor and support halal at the state level. So this is because in Malaysia's constitution, as I said just now, both having, of course, state, right, has what we call as power over Islamic matters, and halal is one of the Islamic matters. But at the same time, at federal level, because we have federal lease that makes it a business, a trade, also under the purview of federal government. So halal is also trade. Halal is trade now, as in the Trade Description Act. It's a matter of trade. So we put halal as part of the federal law purview. There are other sectoral certification authorities and local authorities as well involved in making that halal is in the good governance at what we have. So, for example, the Department of Veterinary Services, Medical Device Authority, National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency. So all of this actually support. But in the first place, what we need to understand is, as halal is actually voluntary, product needs to fulfill the specs by its own authority, the sectoral authority first. Pharmaceutical and cosmetic, for example, they need to abide by registration and notification by the NPRA first, and only they can apply for halal certification. Then, if not, the halal certification authority would then actually a process of the halal certificate. So these are all very, very pertinent to support the halal governance in the country. And local authorities also, the license they get to open up the premise and whatnot also within their ambit to control. So all other agencies, basically most of the agencies and relevant ministries also now, I think, are very, very pertinent to the halal landscape, whereby Ministry of Agricultural, Health, Domestic Trade, and especially the Ministry of Entrepreneur and Cooperative Development, KPDN, is actually the last one is the owner actually of the owner of the act that I have mentioned. So JAKIM does not have law, did not make law because they are not law body. But the Ministry of Entrepreneur actually has amended the law, and it's under the purview of this ministry. So the other relevant agencies is Halal Development Corporation, whereby this one is, established under the Ministry of Trade, International Trade and Industry. Actually, it is for the promotion of Malaysia's halal businesses, for example, for import, for export, for the trade, for the investment. Those are the industry players that help. This agency actually help the industry player to to promote them globally. Malaysia Standard, Departments of Standard Malaysia plays really stringent, really pertinent role in developing national halal standards. And there are 16 halal standards according to Topik, 16 standards topic of Malaysia's halal standard at the moment, developed by the Department of Standards Malaysia, including a lot of various aspects, food, cosmetic, pharmaceutical, logistic, and terminology, and many others. So this is under the purview of the Department of Standards Malaysia. So it's not JAKIM that has actually established standard, but it is the Departments of Standards Malaysia. MIDA is also another agency. More or less, it's about taking or finding opportunities, especially in investment for the companies, and halal has been part of the good investment for Malaysia. So this is what we call a smart trade, an agency under the ministry, another agency under the Ministry of Trade, International Trade and Industry of Malaysia. So they have specific halal section, and actually they're promoting halal products of Malaysia at the international level. We cannot, digital economy has been really important recently, and we should also focus on that. And halal has also been one of the primary focus of economy. So MDAT is one of the agencies that actually try to thrive on or leveraging the industry or the technology to support halal industry in this country. Similarly, MTDC, actually one of the good things about MTDC is it provides halal technology development fund. So the current one, I'm not sure if it's still in existence, but although it is quite stringent, the process to get the partial grant is quite stringent. There are numbers of companies that successfully obtain the grant and successfully project more at the international level. SME Corp Malaysia has what we call as Reach Out to Entrepreneur program to assist SME. SME is mostly small and micro companies in obtaining halal certification. These are the examples. Yeah, but there are more coaching companies. Like I said just now, Malaysia International Halal Academy, established by JAKIM. They have 35 at the moment, 35 members or strategic partners to coach industry to get halal certification, be it international companies, also the small and micro companies. Also, there are veteran agencies established, and all of these agencies, maybe the numbers are more, also have halal agenda, whereby they provide some of the grants, or in terms of finance, they finance the coaching, sometimes the coaching program, to help industry get halal certification. So quite a number of success stories actually are coming from the veteran agencies. So basically, there are about 342 relevant agencies in Malaysia. There are a lot. These numbers means a lot, yeah, because they are both at federal and state levels. 166 from federal level and 176 from state levels, which means halal is everywhere in the relevant agencies. And that can be a good thing, but at the same time can be challenges, because having a lot of relevant agencies sometimes make, especially industry, a challenge to go where, and this is some kind of issues whereby relevant, or what we call as redundancies of the relevant agencies towards halal system. But at the same time, everyone knows that JAKIM is the halal authority in Malaysia. So in terms of support to JAKIM, in terms of other facilities and infrastructure, it's all under relevant agencies. So I would then move to the mechanism and strategies. This is very general, but then I would also share with you all the strategies and mechanisms in the Malaysia's experience in maintaining a credible halal certification system. Okay, so of course, enhancing halal capacity building and training. So we cannot run from the fact that actually capacity building and training is the most pertinent aspect in halal, in a credible halal certification system. So knowledge, skills, and capabilities. And Malaysia's halal standard, together with Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand as well, have been references to other countries. At global level. However, the capacity building, we cannot just stop at one place or at one center, because how halal evolves every day. So the technology aspect, everyone needs to undergo a lot of other things, to tap with the technology. So schemes different now. For example, Malaysia has 9 certification schemes, halal certification schemes. Maybe it will be added later, and maybe different aspects of consumer goods will be introduced in the market, which needs, the trainings with needs the technology and also knowledge that is massive. And this is very important to ensure that halal will not stop at that, whatever that we are having now. The second is enhancing certification process. Of course, there are a lot of challenges with regards to the system itself. JAKIM has used my e-halal certification system, and a lot of challenges whereby, for example, it has been stated by the industry that the payment assessment, the payment, for example, it doesn't link with, now we are using internet banking and whatnot, whereby everyone is going, using the telephone to pay for everything, not even carrying cash, not even the bank note and whatnot. So this is not materialized yet, and I was told that it's in the process, and it will finish inshallah in 2027. So it takes a lot, to go there to 2027. However, I think the process is still similar. Not to say it is too bad, but actually it can be further enhanced, right? So streamlining certification through federal and state level also is very important. Although we are having one same certification system at federal and state level, but however, maybe at the same time, the state level, they need more officers to do enforcement, for example, at the state level. Some of the enforcement has been said to be lacking. So that needs streamlining.
Dr. Zalina, your time, 5 minutes left. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So strengthening like regulatory framework, having periodical review, having consulted industry and also public as well is very important to maintain a strong regulatory framework. Providing halal crisis management is also important because we know that category cases, for example, is very unlikely to happen, and if we have good halal crisis management, technology, blockchain platform, all this data analytics need to to be leveraged. For example, in all the, for example, digital traceability and whatnot, because that actually can make this halal as more more authentic and can give some kind of assurance to the consumers. Consumer protection, at the moment Malaysia has Consumer Protection Act, but that is not a single vision on halal things. So I think this needs to be enhanced because the redress mechanism at the moment is still some kind of in the process of discussion, I was told. So public awareness and education. So this is very important as well because we want to educate the public, but also the consumer. And strategizing halal talent development. And at the moment, we have 11,637 those graduates in halal from diploma, degree, master, and PhD from 28 educational institutions. Export of the halal expert. So we train halal executive, halal internal auditors. These even 11,000 graduates of halal. So needs not only to be to be positioned in Malaysia, but also if they are very good, then they should go global. International collaboration, harmonization of standards may be a challenge, very difficult to obtain or to get to that level. But MRA or MOC are the examples of how international collaboration should be positioned. And of course, this is the challenge of every countries in the world to actually to actually encourage SMEs to further enhance their business. And halal is one of the ways to enhance or to make it as a good marketing tool. So encouraging more SMEs to put in halal certification is pertinent. I commend Indonesia effort in the SME for the self-declaration of SME initiative, which gives I think it is free or to a certain extent of application. So this is one of the incentives that is actually very good for encouraging SME to obtain halal certification. Okay, so I stop there. I think there are a lot more to say, but because of the time been given, it's quite limited. Thank you for listening, and also I look forward to all of the questions. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Zalina. That was a very interesting presentation, and we get so many insights from your topic today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move to the next speakers. And before we going on to the next speakers, I would like to remind you, and then during this presentation, you can submit your question using the Q&A features in the chat box, and which you can find at the bottom of your screen. And our speaker will answer as many questions as the time permits during the Q&A session after the whole speaker has already presented their paper. And if you have experienced any technical difficulties during the webinar, please use the chat feature to let us know, and our technical support team will be available to assist you. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the next speakers. Now it's time to hear from our next speakers. Dr. Mukmindra of MA is an expert as the halal assessor of Badan Penyelenggara Jaminan Produk Halal, BPJPH, Ministry of Religious Affairs, Republik Indonesia, and will be sharing valuable insight into halal attitude in Indonesia, from living law to state law. Let me read profile of Dr. Mumin Rob MA. Dr. Mumin Rob MA is a lecturer at the Faculty of Sharia and Law and Executive Secretary of Pusat Pengkajian dan Pengembangan Jaminan Produk Halal P3JPH, the Center of the Assessment and Development of Halal Product Guarantee, and also he's a Vice Dean of the Faculty of Dirasat Islamiyah, Syarif Hidayatullah, State Islamic University Jakarta. Education, Doctor of Islamic Studies, Syarif Hidayatullah, State Islamic University Jakarta, Indonesia, Master of Islamic Studies, UIN Jakarta, and BA in Faculty of Sharia. His expertise, Halal Assessor since 2022, Certified Mediator, Halal Supervisor, and Certified Halal Butcher. And also he has a training experience, TONT Halal Product Assistance in 2022, Halal Product Assessor and Assessor Training 2022, and Mediation Training in 2018. Halal Supervisor Training 2022, and Basic Muamalah Training 2022. Okay, Dr. Mumin Rob MA. Okay, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa bihi nasta'in ala umurid dunya waddin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayuhan nas kulu mimma fil ardi halalan thayyiba wa la tattabi'u khutuwati syaitan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you very much, Miss Mashrofah. For this time, Honorable Rector of UIN Jakarta, Professor Asep Saifuddin Jahar, PhD, Honorable Vice Rector of UIN Syarif Jakarta, Professor Dr. Ahmad Tolabi Karli, SH MAG, Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Sharia and Law, Professor Dr. Muhammad Maksum, SH MDC, my respect the Vice Dean, Professor Dr. Misraini MAG, Dr. Afwan Faizin MAG, Professor Dr. Kamardiana MAG, and Honorable Sheikh of Al-Islam, Thailand. I would also like to say hello and thanks to the speakers who were present this morning. Associate Professor Dr. Zalina binti Zakaria, Associate Professor Dr. Majida Nawawi, Kasini Katelaka, PhD, and dear participant, thank you. I'm Umirov. I'm very happy to be one of the speakers at this forum. But you know, Indonesian generally don't use English for daily communication. Therefore, I apologize if there are some terms that are not understood. This morning, I am interested in discussing the dynamics of halal in Indonesia by seeing it as a tradition that has been carried out for generations by the Muslim community in Indonesia, and how halal attitude changed after the law number 33/2014. Since its arrival in the 13th century or even before, Islam has colored the lives of Indonesian people with good values in legal studies. Customs that are not outlined in the rule of state law are known as living law. Living law can come from custom, religion, and other. In the context of legal history of Indonesia, living law has experienced a dynamic journey during the Netherlands Fair. For example, Islamic law was already considered as living law because it was applied by the community. Therefore, the Netherlands formulated positive law, Islamic law, and customary law become the main sources. In the early phase, the Netherlands fully accepted Islamic law and made it a positive law. Through the resolution there in this regarding, the Netherlands accepted the full implementation of Islamic law. In the next phase, the Dutch issued the Indisch Dutch Regeling. This provision stipulates that Islamic law is no longer to full force, but must be in accordance with customary law. This legal policy aimed to make Muslims begin to abandon Islamic law and switch to Western law. For Indonesian Muslims, the halalness of product has become a tradition that is carried out either with or without positive law. On the other hand, they automatically choose food that is believed to be halal, even though they do not have to investigate halal certification carefully. But on the other hand, they will also react if based on research by authoritative institution, it is found that a product contains element of pork, for example. So it is when they visit Bali, for example. Bali is an area in Indonesia inhabited by majority Hindu community, and the food in circulation is dominated by products containing pork. This condition makes Muslim very careful in buying food. Another example is when they will consume meat from slaughtered animal. Some people still adhere to the principle of halal slaughter. So they do not want to consume chicken, for example, other than the result of their own slaughter, of that they see the slaughters process themselves. So it is when they visit Bali. Okay, sorry. Okay. Then why a positive law on halal products needed? The living law, on the one hand, is the asset of accelerate the formation of the halal ecosystem, but on the other hand, it is an obstacle because people already feel that they don't need certification anymore. Change in society have led to change in people consumption pattern. Initially, people's consumption needs were met by processing themselves at home. But due to their busy schedule and mobility, this role was taken over by traders. The need for chicken meat, for example, is no longer fulfilled by slaughtering at home, but is provided by traders. People who need chicken meat just need to buy it from regular vendor or at the market. This is the crucial point. Not all meat sold in the market is slaughtered in slaughterhouse or poultry houses. The problem is there are several factors that cause the circulation of haram food. First, ignorance of slaughterers about how to slaughter animal correctly. Second, there are traders who want to get a big profit, then cheat. Third, there is a mixture of halal and haram food, and fourth, there are foods that contain haram ingredients. So let me tell you how emerge of state law in halal product. You can see the slide. Since 1967, the government has marked the difference between halal and non-halal product at the Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health regulation regulate the provision on the circulation and marking of foods containing ingredients delivered from pigs. On every food product that contains pork element, there is a label that reads mengandung babi. Mengandung babi, it means contain pigs. So the label in that time is there were label mengandung babi. But in the 1985, a joint decree was issued between the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Religious Affairs. This act changed the label mengandung babi on products that are not halal to the halal label, and on products that do not contain pork. The inspection process for this food product is carried out at the Ministry of Health. In 1987, the people of Indonesia were disturbed by the result of the research conducted by a lecturer from Brawijaya University, Malang. The results showed that several products contain raw materials such as gelatin, shortening, and lecithin, and fats that were suspected to originate from pigs. As the result, in 1988, 27 Drug and Food Control Agency laboratories conducted research on 64 products that were suspected of containing pig materials. At the time, the method used with the crystal extraction method, alpha palmitodestyrene, because with this method, the result could be known in just 2 days compared to laboratories which took longer. From the excitement of the last case, with the mandate given by the government after the last case, the Indonesian Ulama Council formed the Institute for Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Studies, LPPOM, in 1989, which is tasked to conducting halal inspection and certification. Since then, the halal certification process in Indonesia has been carried out by LPPOM UI, which was only operationally implemented in 1994. Halal certification in this time is still voluntary in nature. After more than 30 years of halal certification being handled by LPPOM, since the issuance of law number 33 of 2014, halal certification has become the authority of the state. Currently, there are several derivative regulation from the law to regulate more clearly the halal certification system in Indonesia. Important change in the halal certification system after Act No. 33 of 2014. the establishment of the Halal Product Assurance Agency, BPJPH, as the official institution that handled halal certification. Previously, this was handled by MY. Halal certification become mandatory for certain product categories such as food, beverage, medicine, and cosmetics. Previously, it was voluntary. You can see in the slide. Indonesia has two model of certification. Slide 17. Sorry, Miss Masrofa. 17. Next. Yeah, you can see in this slide, there are two models of certification in Indonesia, regular, medium, and large business, self-declare. I think different from Malaysia. Indonesia as self-declare certification. You can see in the slide, there are three leading sector, BPJPH, and LPH. LPH mean sorry. And for the sorry, yes, for the self-declare scam, sorry. Yes, in the regular scam, there are three stakeholders involved: BPJPH, MOUI, and the Halal Examining Organization (LPH). But in the self-declare, they are BPJPH, MUI, and like sorry. Okay. In addition to BPJPH and MUI, there is an institution in charge of examining the halal list of product. While in the self-declared SRAM, there are Halal Product Process Assistant institution. I mean LP3H, yes, the product process assistant institution. So the company are not charged to pay because it's borne by the government. In 2023, the government target is 1 million halal certified product. In fact, as of November, the government managed to certify 2.9 million product. Okay, Ms. Mashrafa and audience, I want to give you the conclusion. A combination of living law into positive law has a positive impact in the halal system in Indonesia. The formation of halal ecosystem in Indonesia still requires a long process. The challenge of forming a halal ecosystem in Indonesia is still great because of large number of products in calculation, both in terms of quantity and type. So the last is need for cooperation of all parties to achieve the goal of becoming the world halal center. Okay, I think enough. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Dr. Minarov. That was very good presentation that you have shared with us. You explained about the history and also the role and the influence of Islamic law in Indonesia as one of the largest population of Muslim in the world and have a great influence that the norm and the value of Islamic law has already implemented in the whole aspect of human life, especially for basic need like a food or another thing. And so we have need some certification to do that because it is a very important to the society in Indonesia especially. And also before that, we heard about explanation from Dr. Zalina from Malaysia that also we have a good we have reached the topic and reached our topic about the halal, which is already become halal lifestyle in Muslim countries, and Malaysia and Indonesia. It's become the Muslim countries which already has a good advance in technology, and also they have to make sure that all the basic needs in Muslim society has already certified and have legitimation as halal product. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move to the next speakers for international seminar, and I would like to introduce the next speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Majdah Zawawi, as Deputy Dean ICO and researcher at the Institute of Halal Research in heart of IAUM, and she will present the topic about beauty in modesty, Sharia compliant fashion industry. And let me read the profile of Associate Professor Dr. Majdah Zawawi. Majdah Zawawi is an associate professor at the Department of Islamic Law, Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws, in the National Islamic University, Malaysia. She obtained her LLB from IAUM and is a non-practicing advocate and a solicitor of the High Court of Malaya, who chose to continue her career in the world of academia. Also from IAUM, her doctoral thesis was on the legal and ethical aspect of assisted reproductive technologies in Malaysia, where she examined the need to balance between the rights of the persons to reproduce with the responsibilities that should also come with it. Since then, she has actively been involved in researching and writing on various issues relating to biomedical ethics and its relationship with the law, especially Islamic law. Dr. Majdah is also active in training students for national and international mooting competitions. She strongly believes that the students have a great potentials that needs to be nurtured. Her other research interests include Sharia, compliant hospitality services, for which she was member in the niche area research Grand SIM and Muslim-friendly hospital in Malaysia. Associate Professor Dr. Majdah Zawawi, the floor is yours.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sure. I can hear you clearly, Dr. Majdah.
Thank you. Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Everyone. Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Mashrufa, for the kind introduction. I would like to firstly thank University Islam Negeri Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta for kindly inviting me to speak in this inaugural international seminar series discussing halal lifestyle in ASEAN, multiple perspectives and approaches. And before I go on, I must first begin with a caveat. I am not the actual speaker. I must admit that. As sebenarnya, if I'm permitted to say in bahasa, I am now the bidan terjun, which is translated into English, the diving midwife. This is because the original speaker that was invited was Associate Professor Dr. Nora Ramli, and she is the team leader for our Sharia compliant hospitality services research team. Alas, she cannot be with us today because her daughter is graduating and she has to go to the graduation ceremony in Kuching, Sarawak. So here I am replacing her but I hope that you will still be able to benefit from my short presentation, inshallah. So professors, ladies and gentlemen, the topic for my presentation today is beauty and modesty. And when we speak about halal lifestyle, one of the most impactful areas is, of course, fashion. Yeah. And that is why we have, if we look at the impact that the fashion industry has to the world at large, it is indeed very big, yeah? And I take this opportunity to address this pertinent topic from the eyes, because we, as we know, fashion concentrates on vision, yeah? So from the eyes, dari mata turun ke hati. And when that happens, yeah, when we speak of fashion, the main intention, it has always been to attract the attention of others. That is the mainstream intention of fashion. And there seems to be, so when that is the main intention of fashion, it shows to us that there is a dichotomy between the concept of fashion as it is now and the concept of covering the aura and being modest as it is being portrayed in Islamic law, yeah, or in the Sharia, yeah. So when we talk about fashion, basically we are seeing a situation where there is a need, the industry actually feeds on our nafs, yeah, the need to be beautiful, the need to be different, the need to embrace a lifestyle to show that we are rich, or we follow those who are rich and those who are famous, yeah. So the fashion industry is in that situation where it promotes all these, like I mentioned just now, vices, so to a certain extent, yeah. And this perspective is basically different from the need, like I said just now, to cover one's aura, which essentially requires us to follow what has been ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a need to be modest, there is a need to be decent, there is a need to basically not attract attention on oneself, yeah? So the main question here would be, is there such a thing as Sharia compliant fashion? Yeah, can Muslims indulge in fashion while still maintaining a modicum of decency? Now, our position, of course, is yes, we can still involve ourselves in fashion. And in fact, to a very large extent, we need to involve ourselves in fashion. Because number one, it is fardu kifayah. Yeah, if we fail to promote Sharia compliant fashion industry, yeah, the fashion industry as it is now will take over our young people, yeah. And the concept of that centers around fulfillment of nafs, fulfillment of individual desires, the need to show off and to blatantly attract other people's attention. For many youngsters, that is appealing, including Muslim youngsters. Okay, so when we do not give emphasis or emphasize the importance of Sharia compliant fashion, that means we are actually letting our youngsters follow something which is abhorrent, yeah, and this is something that we do not want our youngsters to fall into. It is a trap, yeah, and it is a trap that we must make them aware of. And in order to make them aware that there is the current fashion industry is not what they should be following, we do need to provide an alternative, and that alternative comes in the form of Sharia compliant fashion. Yeah. And secondly, the second reason why this is such an important issue is because Muslims need to put the modest fashion in the forefront because of the sheer market value. Yeah, according to Euromonitor, the fashion industry reached $1.7 trillion in 2019. This is before the pandemic alone. Yeah, and now it has picked up. Yeah, the trend has picked up. And in another research by McKinsey, the fashion industry came up to about 2.7 trillion US dollars. Yeah. So it is, I mean, the fashion industry is certainly a market to reckon with. So in order to move forward, we need to be reminded of the basic principles in covering the aura. And for that, we need to go back to the basics, yeah, where we need to actually be reminded that let me just share with you my slides. In my excitement, I forgot to share my slides with all of you. So let me oh, I'm sorry, there's one person. Hold on, okay. All right, can everybody see my slides?
Yes, sure. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so basically, when we're talking about definition, yeah, we'll go first to the definition of aura, yeah, because that is very important, and I think everyone here is aware of the fact that covering the aura is something which is mandatory for all of us, yeah, and when we're talking about the meaning of aura, it is very interesting to look at the etymological meaning of it. Not only the main meaning as it is provided by Ibn al-Athir is that it refers to private parts. Yeah, dalam bahasa Melayu, it is kemaluan. Yeah, so it is not something. The source of the word is shows us or illustrates to us that the aura is something that which we look at the next definition, which Abdul Qadir Al-Razi has come up with. Whatever a person feels shameful to show to others, that is also an indication that the aura is something that needs to be covered. And this has been mentioned by Ibn Manzur. Yeah. And according to Datin Dr. Faiza Ismail, who is from University of Malaya, the aura is anything that makes the person uneasy to expose or uncomfortable to expose to others. Yeah, and therefore resulting in physical traits that one must cover. All right. So when we're talking about aura, it is something which is very private, and only certain persons should be able or could or be permitted to see. All right. So when we're talking about the aura in the concept of fashion, it is something that many people has forgotten. Yeah, when they talk about fashion, oh, okay, kalau Muslimah fashion, so long as the person covers, okay. But there are other aspects. Some people cover, but still shows some parts of the body which shouldn't be shown, or it covers but it is too tight, or it covers but it is too sheer. Yeah, that see-through. You can see through. So these things basically do not cover the aura, and therefore does not fulfill the meaning of Sharia compliant fashion. Okay. Now I would like now to I cannot help but make reference to I need to bring in the Palestinian situation, because their faith in Allah is so inspiring, and we too must revisit all our actions and make sure that it is in line with the Sharia. Yeah, and in terms of the fashion, the fashion industry itself, we can see that reference is rarely made to the Quran and the Sunnah. Yes, we start first with the initial the covering of the aura, which is found in Surah An-Nur verse 31. Yes, we mention that quite commonly. But what we forget is what had happened in the past. Yeah, and for this we must revisit Surah 22 from Surah Al-A'raf verse 22, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had actually reminded us of the situation of the Prophet Adam and his wife Siti Hawa when they were tricked by shaitan, yeah, and they ate the forbidden fruit. And what happened is mentioned in Surah Al-A'raf verse 22, and when they tasted of the tree, their nakedness was exposed to them, yeah, and prompting them to cover themselves with leaves from paradise. Then their Lord called out to them, did I not forbid you from that tree? And did I not tell you Satan is your sworn enemy? Now, if we look at this verse, yeah, the fact that Prophet Adam and Siti Hawa, when they were in Jannah, in paradise, they were adorned. One of the gifts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala awarded to them was the fact that they were adorned with beautiful clothing. So the moment they disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders and ate from the forbidden tree, they were sent to earth in what condition? Exposed and in nakedness. So what does this show us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's order for us to cover our aura is actually to show that this is His blessings upon us. It is one of His, a grace for human being to adorn human beings with the beautiful garments, in paradise. So the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took away, for the first grace that Allah took away from Prophet Adam and Siti Hawa was beautiful clothes. That's why when they were sent to earth, they were exposed, they were naked, and they had no choice but to cover themselves. Yeah, did I not? And Allah said, did I not forbid you from that tree? And did I not tell you that Satan is your sworn enemy? So it is something that we must also keep reminding ourselves. Yeah, in a situation where showing aura, is the trend, is the way to go, we must remind ourselves and our young ones that there is only the way that shaitan has used in order to pull them to accept his ways and follow in his footsteps and take us away from Sirat al-Mustaqim. Yeah, so we must keep reminding that even in something which is personal as choosing what to wear, we have to be mindful, and remember that it must be in accordance with the Sharia. All right, and now if we go on further to verse 26, in the same surah, Surah Al-A'raf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues by saying, O children of Adam, we have provided for you clothing to cover your nakedness and as adornment. See, so it is a form of showing that by covering the aura, we are respectable human beings. When we cover our aura, we are given dignity. And aside from that, it is also an adornment, something which is for us to enjoy. So however, the best clothing is righteousness. So that is also another reminder for us when talking about Sharia compliant fashion, in the sense that when we choose, or for those designers or producers, when they produce clothes, there is a need to be reminded of the need to follow the instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that can only be done if we have iman in our hearts. Yeah, the best clothing is righteousness, and only those who have iman and taqwa can be righteous. Okay, so we must go back to that basic principle. Yeah, we cannot allow the fashion industry to be governed only purely by a sense of fashion, which is based from the West. Yeah, these people must also be educated to know the bounties of Allah, and also the borders which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already set. Yeah, and Allah continues. He continues to reach out to all of us again. O children of Adam, do not let Satan deceive you as he tempted your parents out of paradise and caused their cover to be removed in order to expose their nakedness. Surely he and his soldiers watch you from where you cannot see them. We have made the devils allies to those who disbelieve. So what is the extent of those who refuse to abide by the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Number one is that that means we have denigrated ourselves or brought ourselves low, yeah, to a low position where Allah reminds us that Prophet Adam and Siti Hawa was left naked when they left the Jannah. Yeah, and not only that, if we refuse to follow to follow what the Sharia, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reminded us, then we are followers of Shaitan. Yeah, it is that serious. And a lot of people say that, oh, covering the aura is a matter of choice, which I will address now. So basically, from the Quranic ayah, we can see that in Jannah, Adam and Eve or Hawa was adorned with beautiful garments. And this is, as I mentioned just now, a sign of Allah's graces upon them. But when they were ousted from Jannah and sent to earth, they were set down naked, and nakedness is part of punishment. So any form of clothing that exposes the aura is equivalent to being naked, and that is in itself a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, to the extent that Prophet Adam and Siti Hawa had to cover themselves with leaves. Yeah, so the best adornment is, of course, righteousness, and I mentioned just now. And from that, what do we get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes, Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. True. So fashion may be allowed. It can be allowed. However, it must be within the confines of the hukum for covering the aura. Yeah. So where is it a choice? When a matter is wajib, it is compulsory, then who are we? We are only the humble Allah, right? We are Abdullah, Ibadullah. So what does it tell us? We must comply. And this concept of compliance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something which must be imprinted upon not only us personally, not only to our children, not only to our family members, but also to the society, particularly those who are in the fashion industry, those who create fashion. In fact, I know in Indonesia, the Muslimah fashion is thriving, and Alhamdulillah, many of them follow. Similarly, in Malaysia, many try their best to keep within the confines of the Sharia and follow or make sure that their clothing is Sharia compliant. But there are certain companies that still does not understand this basic concept and still produce clothing which is not Sharia compliant. Yeah. And the choice, when we talk about choice, yes, the choice is only between following our nafs or fighting against it. Yeah. And it is essentially at the bottom of it is when we make our choices, we actually decide whether we are doing what is right or we are doing what is wrong. And what many of our children forget is that there are consequences to these decisions, although they are personal. Yeah, the consequences come in this world and also in the hereafter. All right. So so when we talk about, I think this is something which is quite common, yeah. But I think I want to reiterate it again. The covering of the aura involves the covering of the whole body except for the face and the hands, yeah. And it must be loose, not tight fitting, or it can make up the body shape of a person. And the material cannot be thin, yeah, so that we can see through or can see the outline of the body from the material. Yeah. So these are some of the basic principles that I would like to highlight when we're talking about Sharia compliant Sharia compliant lifestyle. Yeah. So now when we make personal decisions, it is Muslims need to realign their fashion senses, yeah, to ensure that their fashion choices are not only for their own satisfaction, yeah, but it is also in line with the Sharia. And full support must be given to companies that promote Sharia compliant fashion around the world. And we cannot underestimate the power of the public, yeah, and especially in the fashion industry. If you look at what happened to Zara recently, yeah, which is a famous fashion brand that received a backlash when they adopted a fashion marketing strategy that mocked the situation in Gaza. Yeah, they had to retract and they had to apologize because of the backlash, and many people had already started to boycott Zara. Yeah, and similarly, Puma, which is a very famous sports brand, fashion brand, ended its contract with the Israeli national football team. And this had actually boosted the Puma market to a large extent. Yeah. So basically, when we talk about fashion, it is not something which is simple. It is not something which does not have any effect or impact to the world. In actual fact, it does have an impact, and it is something that we need to pay more attention of when we are talking about halal lifestyle, particularly in this modern world. Okay. So thank you very much. I will not take too much more time. Anything that is good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anything that is bad is from me myself, and I apologize. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Dr. Majidah Zawawi. Very good presentation from you. And so I think this is kind of the trend of the Muslimah in Muslim society, that they have to cover their aura, but sometimes it's not according to Sharia, not Islamic law. They want to be more fashionable. They want to be more trend because of the brand is something like that. But actually, what we found that they not just cover their aurat, but not according to Sharia. But sometimes they still use the material like very tight and showing, and also this is showing their aurat. And very thank you so much for your presentation, Dr. Majidah Zawawi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you once again, if you still have a question, you can submit the question in the KAA in the chat box of this Zoom room. And then we are going to the next speakers. And I would like to invite our last speakers, the four speakers, Kasini Farida Kataleha, PhD. She's a researcher at the Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University. And let me read the profile. Kasini Kataleha, PhD, current position and affiliation scientist, the Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University, Bangkok, Thailand. And he was born on September 20, 1987 in Chachoengsao, Thailand. Education, BSc Biochemistry, 2010, Faculty of Science, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. MSc Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, 2013, Faculty of Science, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. And PhD Biomedical Science, 2021, Faculty of Graduate School, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. And awards and honors, each number Public Sector Excellence Award given by Office of the Public Sector of Development Commission, and as the Outstanding Academic Student Award, Department of Biochemistry, Faculty of Science, given by Dr. Tap Nilanti Foundation, and excellent paper. And it's also research fields, one of them for talking about the enzyme and biochemical reaction, paper-based devices, halal science, functional ingredients, product development. And is also a doctor, has a scientific publication. One of them is title of research, Seplica, talking about the effect of difference closing strategies of caffeine ingestion during an endurance performance event in male half marathon runners. And next, the title research talking about the simple distance paper-based analytical device for the screening of lead in food matrices. And also so many article journal as already written by Dr. Farida, and Elazo Technical Committee, and OIC, SMIIC, TC1 Halal Food, OIC or SMIIC 24 to 2020 General Requirement for Food Additives and Other Added Chemicals to Halal Food, Working Group Project on Halal Food Additives. And second, OIC or SMIIC TC2 Halal Cosmetic, OIC SMIIC for 2018 Halal Cosmetic General Requirements, and third, ASEAN Working Group on Halal Product. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kasina Farida Kataleha, PhD. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much for a very kind introductions for me, and thank you very much for the committee for inviting me to be your speaker for the today's sections. And first, I would like to congratulate to our committee for your first international seminars today. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all of you, all speakers and all moderators and our audience for today. So if I'm not wrong, I think I am the only speaker, the only one speaker who are living in like non-Muslim country. So my talk today, I will focus likely more in our country, in non-Muslim country. So I hope that my talk today will beneficial and also fulfill the section's objectives. Let me share the slide first.
Okay, Dr. Farida.
Excuse me, because of the technical something may
It's okay, no problem.
can I have like 1 or 2 minutes?
Okay, sure.
You can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry for the error. Okay. So for my topic today is the halal science and technologies in the non-Muslim country. And so for the topic today, I will include in the following topic. The first, I would like you to understand the initiations of the halal science centers to Chulalongkorn University. And second, I would like to show you how contaminations can be reduced or eliminated in the halal certified product. And for the third, I would like to give our experience using laboratory in facilitating halal certification system, and in addition, use the laboratory to ensure consumer protections in our country. And for the last topic, I will share with you the experience on the development of the halal ingredients, H number. Okay. So for the first topic, the initiations of the halal science centers to Chulalongkorn University in Thailand, I think you may confuse or you may wonder why the halal science centers is established in the non-Muslim country like in Thailand. Why not in the Muslim majority country? This slide I would like to this slide I use this slide to answer this question, because as you know that we are living, in the non-Muslim country and in a multicultural societies in Thailand. So sometimes halal and non-halal cannot be easy to identify. But for example, consider the scorpion you see from the slide. The scorpion is consider the scorpion that you see from the slide. Everyone knows that the scorpion is not halal, so we can avoid to consume it, or we can avoid using them into the food. In the same times, you can see from the below sections, the below picture, which is the wearing hijab Muslim. So you can notice that the foods come from Muslim shops. So you can ensure that this food is halal to consume. But sometimes there are occasions when we cannot definitely identify whether the food item is halal, either from the sellers or from the ingredients that they use. I give you some example. For example, if you are in the shop, which is non-Muslim shop, and then you find some food in the shop, for example, like bread, plain bread, you may know that the food, for example, like bread, might not contain the haram components, or the process that they use, it might not have something that is not halal. So, but when you're living in like non-Muslim country like us, so you will try to search for the halal certified product. The halal certified product will make you more ensure for the product. In addition, at the same time, you will feel like more, more secure for consuming it. I would like to say sorry for the slide because at first I prepare in PowerPoint presentations, and right now it have some chip. And this slide I would like to show you the beginnings of the Halal Science Center at the Chulalongkorn University. Back to 1995, it has scandals happened in the Muslim communities in Thailand, that the noodles that they consume have lard oil. The scandals said that the oil using in the noodle preparations or noodle process is made from lard. So these scandals raised the concern among the Muslim communities. And then Professor Dr. Vinay friends came to him and then approached him. So he encouraging him to answer these questions to the Muslim communities in Thailand. So he decided to use gas chromatographies or scientific-based techniques in order to see whether the oils that cover the noodle is from lard or not. And finally, they found that the oil that cover the noodles is not from lard. So this is the beginnings of the halal forensics, laboratories in Thailand. You can notice that because of we are living in non-security. In terms of halal foods and non-halal foods. So means that we have to have tools in order to protect ourselves, in order to protect our Muslim community. So that's why Halal Science Centers is established in Thailand. And this is in 1997. You can see that our experience, we discover the halal certified products that contaminate with the haram things, the processed substance found in the halal certified products in 1997, like in sausage, in meat rolls, in Chinese sauces and seafood products. Even the halal certification products, but also in some time unintentional, but the contamination can be found because of the something. And so this is why we have to implement halal science and technologies into the halal certification system. So for the second topic, I will show you how contaminations can be reduced or eliminated in the halal certified products. This slide I would like to show you that we have to work together between religion sectors and also academic sector, like the SciCourt, which is responsibility for the halal certifications in Thailand, and Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University. We work for the academic support. Imagine in the operating rooms, for example, in the operating rooms, we work like a nurse. We assist the halal certification system. We are not responsible for the halal certification, but we responsible for the academic support in terms of, laboratory reports and also the systematic review and so on. This is how we work in a Thailand, like a non-Muslim country. And here is the implementations of the halal management system in the food manufacturers. In Thailand, in our countries, the owners of the food manufacturers, they are non-Muslim. So it means that they not know well in Sharia and also halal standard and so on. So this is why we have to go into the food manufacturers, and we have to setting the halal standardization system into the food manufacturer. This is to prepare the food manufacturer to be ready to get a halal certification or to be ready to accredit by the religion sector. And this is our protocol that we work in our country. We have a preparation document stage, and we also go into the class to training them about the Sharia, hygiene, and food hazards, and also the practice. And we do inside training using laboratory and also the cleansing method, and then do the audit or evaluation to the manufacturers, so that the food manufacturer will be ready, to get accreditation by SICOT. From now, there are 1,112 factories implemented this HALQ system, which covering 158,000 workers in the food manufacturers. Okay, this is the number you can see from the slides, the numbers of the manufacturers that already implemented the HALQ system, and also the worker who are involved into this system in Thailand. Okay, and together with the setting of the HALQ system into the food manufacturers, because the workers, most of the workers, they are also non-Muslim. So means that they may before they are enters into the food manufacturers, we ask them to wash hand and cleanse hand with the najis cleansing. In our country, is this where is can in Sharia. We have to wash one time with clay in 7 time washing, but it is impossible to use clay in the food manufacturer. It is impossible to use clay in manufacture. So that's why we have to develop a thing that we call najis cleansing, with it made from white clay, so that. And in addition, no alcohol no chemical reactions in the formula. So means that this clay can be used in replace of this clay soap can be used replace added clay. So this is one of the innovative product that we develop and we are applying to the manufacturers. Okay. And this is also available in the market, so manufacturers they can buy from the market. And this chart, I would like to show you the empirical benefits of the implementing halal standards into the food manufacturers. You can see from the slide that the contamination can be reduced by halal certification process. But furthermore, when applied or implemented with the halal standardizations or HALQ system, the contaminations cannot found. The zero contamination you have seen from the papers. This is the empirical benefits of the implementing of halal standard. Yeah. And for my third topic, which is the utilizing of the halal laboratory in order to facilitate a halal certification system and also to ensure the consumer protections. This is the surrounding the environment of our laboratories. You can see that we have like a modern instrumentations, and also in addition, we also have a good techniques. We can say that we have like 4 certifying technique for detections of gelatin. Second is alcohol, DNA, and for fatty acid profile. So they use our laboratories in order to support halal certification system and also for the consumer protections. And recently, we in the bottom in the right bottom pictures, you can see that the development of the simultaneous multiplex DNA analysis. In the same time, we can analyze with rapid test 9 species in the same time, which can be used for on-site detections. This is just recently developed. And you can see from the left-hand side, the pie charts show you the numbers of the samples that we already analyzed. It's nearly 2,100 products that analyzed from our laboratories, Harvard laboratories. And you can see the advanced instrument here. And we got certified by an ISO, which means that you can use our technique as a reference. Okay. And for my last topic, which is to share you the experience on the developments of the Halal food additive or H number. This slide I would like to show you that there are a lot of ingredients or chemicals that can derive from like porcine. You can see the more than 100 chemicals that derive from porcine in some cases. For example, like disodium and inositase as well. This is why we have to develop the so-called H number or Halal ingredients number. Normally in the food manufacturers, they will have like E-number system, which is this E-number system means that the ingredients or the chemicals that they use is safety to be used in the food. But according to the E-number system, you will not know the origin source or you will not know the origin source of the chemical and the ingredients. So means that we have to have for the development of Halal products, we have to have like Halal number. So imagine that if you can select the appropriate ingredients to be entered into the Halal production chain, it means that you will not need to use like laboratory in order to see the contamination, because you can monitor at the first step of selections of the good and appropriate ingredients to be entered into the food production chain. Yes. And this is the first H number or Halal ingredients number book. This is the book version, and we also have information on the websites and on the applications as well. So I can summarize into this slide. This slide I would like to show you that we can, implement the halal science and technology into every step of food production chains. For example, you can control or you can monitor at first step, like for example, using a Halal number or H number. And during every step of the food production chain, you can also use like Halal standardizations or Halal standard implemented into the production chain. And you can also monitor by Halal logistics and traceabilities and also packagings. This slide I would like to show you that in every step of the food production chain, actually we can implement Halal science and technologies into along the food production chain. And this is one of our achievements. We have been recognized as one of the first Halal science institutions in the world in 2006 from the government of Malaysia. And from the small laboratories in faculties of allied health science, finally we can have office in the northern part of Thailand, like in Chiang Mai, in the southern parts of Thailand, in Pattani, and also recently we just have office in nearby Bangkok in Nakhon Nayok province. The northern parts of Thailand in Chiang Mai, they are keen and specialized in IT and development of the application and blockchain. And the southern parts, they work for like IMTTT projects together with Indonesians and Malaysians. And for the Bangkok's office, they work a lot in research and development, and we have a lab in Bangkok, 2 floors in research buildings. And for the new office in Nakhon Nayok, we do more in innovative products like food innovative product, which is one of my specialized and one of my interests. And this is all from us. Thank you very much for your listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Kasina Farida Katalaha PhD. You just shared us about very good presentation, and we find so many useful and informative, yeah, especially about the technology, how to what we call this technology, using technology, so we can control the product and we can identify this is the halal product, and it's very important. And I believe, yeah, all the Islamic country or Muslim country should pay more attention about this, maybe because technology, and Dr. Kasina Farida Kataleha has described and explained about how the technology has a great impact to identify and to make sure that the product that we consume, the society, is halal. And thank you so much, Dr. Kasina Farida Kataleha, PhD. And ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you've enjoyed our webinar so far and have found it informative and engaging. And now we are come to the next session. We'd like to open up the floor to any question you may have for our expert speakers. Yeah. And if you have a question related to discussing halal lifestyle in ASEAN, multiple perspectives and approaches. So we have already followed the presentation from experts, from speakers, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, and also from Thailand. Please feel free to type your question in the chat box or the Q&A box, and we'll do our best to address as many questions as possible. And we encourage you to ask any question you have, no matter how big or small. Our speakers are here to share their expertise and help you to better understand about halal lifestyle in ASEAN. Okay, maybe Dr. Farida, you still using the share screen? Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, maybe I will give the opportunity from the chat box first. There's some question here, and maybe I will choose the question from, what do you call this, from Yudin Muksin, Bapak Muksin. The question is, what obstacles exist in uniting all Muslim countries to establish an international halal certification? And this is particularly crucial for countries with minority Muslim population, ensuring their access to halal product. And this is very good question. And maybe all the speaker, I will give the opportunity maybe to Associate Professor Dr. Majida Zawawi. Will you respond this question? You here? Okay. Or maybe Dr. Farida, maybe you can respond this
Oh,
because
yes.
because it's
Okay.
related is minority Muslim population because this is maybe you can describe about
Okay.
in Thailand. Okay.
Okay, sorry, what is the questions again?
Question: what is obstacle exists in uniting all Muslim countries to establish an international halal certification? And maybe this is we can find particularly crucial for countries with minority Muslim population, ensuring their access to halal product. What is
You mean in our country, like halal
yes,
certification?
yeah, in Thailand. Okay.
Yes, in Thailand, halal certifications is responsible for the cycle, you know. But because as you can see from the slide that because of because of the complex in food development, for example, or food sector, it have some some complex in food manufacture. So that's why the SciCourt also would like to have some scientific support from the Thailand. And as for my knowledge, our our system also a role model for other country, like for non-Muslim country and also for the Muslim country as well.
Okay, and then maybe for the next question, how to make all Muslim restaurant use and have halal certificate, and is there we can make it compulsory to all Muslim restaurant which was registered with company registration? Maybe this question goes to Dr. Mumin Rauf. Maybe you can answer this question, Dr. Mumin. This is about the certification to restaurant because we found some restaurant in the mall, in the big mall, they do not attach the certificate, and the customer they're not sure about the product. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would like to answer the first question first about is it important to make like a halal or universal or global world like that? I think according to the data I have, there are currently 37 countries that have halal certification institution that have collaborated with BPGPH, and among them like America, Thailand, Taiwan, Chile, New Zealand, China, and so on. These countries are Muslim minority countries. So, for example, when I conducted an assessment to IFNCC in Canada a few months ago, there was some difference with the principle used in Indonesia. Indonesia, through MUI, has two principles in halal certification, namely using a tawasud opinion. Yes, tawasud opinion, which is a moderate opinion, non-tashaddud and too hard or too easier. Second, take the most Christian opinion and get off from the differences. Al-khuruj min al-khilaf wal akhdu bil akhwat. It means if Indonesia has like a principle like this, is other country will be same with Indonesia? I think no, yeah, because because of this principle, countries with Muslim minorities can start like Indonesia did, maybe from living low in determining the halalness of product for the community. So so I think for Muslim minority they can start with what they can do. Yes. No. To the country. This is, I think, the principal question is it important to unite the halal certification among Islam country like that? I think no. Yeah. The second question, I think, about the restaurant. Yeah. Indonesia is currently conducting halal certification for small restaurant and canteen. So the government has issued special regulation to certify them. I mean, it's no problem for Indonesia to certify the canteen or small restaurant by the specific regulation. They are given convenience, but remain under strict supervision like this. I think enough, Mas Rova.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Dr. Nindra. And maybe we still find that the restaurant in the big mall, they don't have any certificate. And once I ever have this experience, we want to go to some restaurants, and I ask first the waiters, you have already halal certification, and the waiters said that's still in process. And I don't know how long the process, Dr. Momin. It is take too long or not, or maybe it takes charge.
3
maybe?
months. 3 months.
3 months. Okay, 3
Yeah,
months.
3 months.
Okay, maybe I think they should obey this rule, right? Because the restaurant should have a certification, even they are in a Muslim country, Indonesia. Okay, good. And then thank you so much. And then the next question is how to measure forensic in food. Is it sample taken in the end product only, or maybe this question goes to Dr. Farida? Maybe. Okay,
Yes.
maybe, yeah.
For
question
the halal, yes.
From Cut Mutia from Win Alauddin Makassar. Yeah, she asking about how to measure forensic in food. Okay, please.
Yes,
Farida.
actually we can do in the finished product. Yeah, for the halal forensic laboratories in the finished product, but normally it depends on the natures of the food. For example, some food we have to use like fatty acid profiles in order to see the contaminations of oils or lard in the products. But some of the sample we need to use like DNA techniques because most of the food complex with the meat proportion, so means that we have to use the DNA method. So in forensic laboratory, we have to know first about the natures of the products because so that we can select the appropriate techniques in order to detect the contamination in the product. For example, in some case, the products of like a color that was dissolved in solvent. So maybe sometimes the solvent they use is alcohol. Something like that, we have to use the alcohol techniques in order to detect that kind of products. For example, in addition to the finished product, we also can determine from the raw materials or the ingredients to be used in the food manufacture. We have a system, like I said, that we have a S number. So from S number, you will see the list of the ingredients that is halal ingredients, which is already fatwa by ulama from Thailand, which is the first S number. So you can select the appropriate ingredients to be entered into the finished product, you know. So this is a kind of the halal forensic side that we do in our country.
Okay, very clear answers, explanation, Dr. Farida. And next question is about what is the function of, and maybe one more question they're asking about in Thailand. Maybe they're very interesting about what's going on with the halal product in Thailand. What the body manage halal certification in Thailand? Maybe
What about, sorry?
Body manage halal certification. I mean, we will give the halal certification maybe in Thailand.
Okay, halal certification. Halal certification is given by Syarif, which is the religion sector. You know, Syarif will give the halal certification, but sometimes in some case they cannot know. You know, you cannot. If Syarif cannot fatwa from the document, sometimes they send the ingredients or the food product to our lab. to test the contamination in our lab, and then our lab will send the report to them, and they can use the report from our side to support the halal certification, the halal certification. So it means that we have to work together. We have to work with manufacturers in order to set the system, the halal management system into the manufacturers. And sometimes the SICOT asks us to test for the contamination in the finished product. We have to do also. But for the certification, it has a responsibility by SICOT.
The SICOT. Okay, thank you so much. And next, what is the function of Halal Guideline 2019 on ASEAN as the product of Halal Working Group for ASEAN members? And how the members do implementation the guideline on their country? Okay, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The Halal guideline in ASEAN, we work together among the ASEAN country, and we try to we try to develop the halal standard to be used, to be recognized, to be used in among the ASEAN communities. But right now they are under the development process because Malaysia has their own standard. Thailand has own standards as well. So we have to set the standard for the Halal ASEANs. We try to develop the standard for the Halal ASEANs.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Maybe Dr. Momin, you want to add some more explanation about the Halal Guideline 2009 ASEAN for Indonesia? Okay, maybe some question has relevance with another question. Yeah, our certification has gone into all fields from food tourism, even to the point of product use or packaging to product already and has to have legal information. Yeah, maybe the next question about, okay, okay, Dr. Kasida Farida, one more question for you. In the case of food contamination, what does the role of Thai government provide?
Okay. If we in case of Thailand, if we see the contaminations found in the products, we let the manufacturers to know that your product is not halal already. But then we will talk to the SICOT, and SICOT will let the manufacturers because the halal certifications and everything related to halal is under the SICOT. So when we found the halal when we found the contamination in the product, we let SICOT know, and then SICOT will do their work in order to develop, or sometimes they withdraw the halal certified from the products, and sometimes they have some regulation to the manufacturers.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you handle or go about controversies arising from food, including meat and frozen products, when they are found to be porcine contaminated?
Yes.
Yeah.
If the products contain like more in meat or something, so it means that we have to use a technique, DNA technique. Even the very very little, very little quantities we can find in the product using real-time PCR techniques. We use real-time PCR techniques, and we also have a specific primer specific to the porcine. So it means that if the product contains the porcine's DNA, the specific primer will detect, and then we can detect with real-time PCR.
Yeah. Okay.
Even from the meat or the frozen product as well, it can.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, maybe this is the last question from the chat box. Are there different levels or type of halal certification in Thailand? And how does the regulatory to monitor, or maybe this is the same question, yeah, that we just explained before, yeah, and enforce compliance with the halal standards. Maybe this is still have the same explanation that you already finished. Okay, maybe Dr. Mu'min Rauf, you want to add some more explanation about what's going on about Indonesia for the halal product and also certification, and also how is to make sure all the Muslim society in Indonesia should be more, and maybe sometime, okay, Dr. Momin.
Okay, I think in the case of Indonesia, if it is done like contamination between halal and haram, if it is done intentionally, BPJPH will give a penalty from the like warning, so a fine like 2 billion, and to revocation the certificate. The certificate is like reject from this company. I think like that. I think in the other Muslim country, in the same case, I like see it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mindro. And maybe if you from the participant from the Zoom, if you want to directly ask the question, I will give one person, maybe one participant. If you want to directly ask some question to the speakers. Before that, I took the question from the chat box, maybe. Maybe you can raise your hand. Okay. Okay, maybe one last question, yeah, Dr. Mominrab and Dr. Farida, maybe. What is the acceptable limit of detection and limit of quantification of alcohol when comparing between Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand? And for halal certified food and cosmetic products. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Farida, please.
I think we use the same quantities if the product is added by is intentional added alcohol is not allowed to use in halal products. But if the fermentations occur during the fermentation process, it allow like one. I'm not sure the number, but it's around 0.5 to 1%. If the products fermented product, you know, in some time. The alcohol is naturally occur when the product is fermentation. So it has regulations. And for the cosmetic product, we not sure for the contents, because if the perfume is not is high contents of alcohol, but we don't have experience in detections of alcohol in perfumes, cosmetic product. But if the cosmetic product like creams or lotions, we will focus on the contents, on the fatty acid profile, whether the glycerin that they use or the lipid that they use are derived from porcines or not. We focus on the lipid profiles. But for alcohol contents, I think we may use the same regulations with food. I'm not sure for the detections of alcohol in cosmetic product, because we don't have experience right now. But for food, the content is 0.5 to 1%. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And Dr. Momin in Indonesia?
Yes, I think the in Indonesia also same, or 0.5 for food, and for cosmetics it is within safe limit, like that. There is no limit, but within a safe limit. Yeah, for cosmetic. For food only 0.5%.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
To make sure for the audience, in Thailand, if the flavor we allowed at 0.5%, and for the fermented products is 1%.
Thank you. Okay. How must we handle halal verification? I don't get it. What is question maybe? How must we handle halal verification laboratory HVL yielding 0.01 sensitivity and another yielding 0.0000 sensitivity? Maybe Dr. Faida can explain this. For me, what is it? The last question in
Sorry,
chat box.
again, please. Sorry.
How must we handle halal verification laboratory, HVL, yielding? Maybe you can see also in the chat box, 0.01 sensitivity and another yielding 0.10001 sensitivity. Maybe it's kind of a how to test the product, maybe.
Oh, I'm not sure for this because they're not okay. I'm not sure for this question because they're not identifying the technique. So because the different technique have the different sensitivities and also the specificity as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the participant of this first international seminar series, thank you so much for the speakers. And we have so many good insight and also good knowledge about the halal lifestyle in ASEAN in 3 countries. And I'm sorry, I would like to apologize because another speakers, Professor Zalina and Associate Professor Dr. Majda has already left the Zoom because he has another agenda. And maybe, and I will send a question for them, inshallah. And now we are reached until the end of the session. And maybe I just want to the participant. I hope you found the information and insight shared by our expert panelists to be available. And maybe to quick recap some of the main point that we discussed today. Maybe I just want to cover. Maybe I just want to make any. I don't have to conclude here all the presentation. Maybe from the Malaysia, they shared about how is the government deeply understanding to follow the rule of Islamic way by consuming the halal product in society. And also we need the role, the government regulation to protect halal product, not just our basic need, but also other things related. This is the product halal. And also in Thailand, as already very, very important approach in technology. We have to make sure that the product is already halal by testing in laboratory. And this is also a very good insight for us and giving available information for us. In addition, maybe we hope in Indonesia also, Dr. Menrauf has also shared about how is the BPJPH as one of the responsible institution to give the certification and also to supervise and to control some stores and restaurants. They should sell the halal product. And sometimes, and now we are not just aware the product in the store and the supermarket, they're not halal or not, but also we also find we have to make attention, not just halal, but also this is not the product of Israel and the areas. Maybe that's the point. Okay. In addition, some of the key takeaways of this webinar include this one, and we hope that this webinar has provided you with useful information and strategies that you can implement in your own work. And then remember, if we have and before I close this international seminar, I would like to inform you this is the first international seminar series, a collaborative Sharia and Law Faculty with the Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws, IIUM, and Academy of Islamic Studies, University of Malaya, and also the Halal Science Center, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. And give applause to all speakers here. Thank you so much, Dr. Farida and Dr. Menrauf. Thank you so much. Okay. And then before we end this session, maybe we can take a picture first before, with the whole participant maybe. And the committee will assist this. Okay. Mas Umam, are you still there? Okay. Okay, let me do, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 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 One more. Okay. Thank you so much to the all speakers and the participants of international seminar series. And I would like to inform you, there will be another international seminar series. This is the first. And there will be the second, the third, inshallah. And we will talk and discuss many things related actual issues regarding to ASEAN countries. Okay, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for joining with us today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very
Waalaikumsalam
much.
wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for the participant. We will share another information about international shares, inshallah, organized by Sharia and faculty. That's a good presentation. Amumin, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I need to leave.